Kevin Hart is in the building.
I'm here.
I'm here.
That was
Ready
a great
to go.
countdown, a 10-second countdown.
I always forget what comes after 10.
I've never seen him go from 10. I mean, I think you can do the same thing starting at 5. I think you can cut that in half. Probably
It
get
is
there a
so
lot
good
faster.
to see you.
It's so good to see you.
You know, last time I saw you, it was on our DraftKings NFL
Yes,
shoot.
yes.
Which I'm very excited about. You are probably used to seeing yourself in commercials at this point.
Yes, very much so.
I still think it's the coolest thing ever. I see myself, me, you, and LeBron.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing. Tell me, how is LeBron as an actor? Because I didn't get to watch you all go.
As an actor, you know, everybody, when they throw the term out, you know, actor, actress, I think like you're making it so much more than it has to be, right? And I think what Brian is very good at is being himself. And in these situations, these moments where you're hired to basically put that personality on display for other people to see, you have no choice but to flourish. So in the spots that we did with DraftKings is dope because all we're doing is springboarding off of our already good relationship, right? Like there's a amazing brotherhood bond that he and I have. So putting that to use and highlighting it in these commercial spots, I think it's going to be dope. It's refreshing. So when you tell somebody, be you, but we're going to do it in a format where you're reciting lines and you're just being redundant, of course, that's where the idea of acting comes in. But if you simplify it and just say, well, this is about us being us, and that's what makes it good, then it's easier. And I think Brian gets that. He understands that. And, you know, for a person who's done very well with putting his likeness on display in a variety of different ways, it's dope to see him do it consistently and be successful in doing it, right?
Yeah.
I think other people think it. They overthink it when you don't have to.
You know, something I'm realizing about you just in this short time is...
I'm tall.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, there you go.
Probably the tallest I've had on this show, I'd say.
For sure.
You like to really break things down. I think that that's really how you digest information and also see how it works for you. Would you say that's accurate?
It's very accurate. I don't look at things and I don't see things as just like a moment, right? I see things and I instantly think of elongating opportunities, right? Like how do you maximize the most out of a moment so that the moment becomes several more? It's squeezing an orange. Like there's a lot of people that use that term. I want to squeeze an orange. I want to make sure I get as most as I can out of an orange. Whereas some people, you know, they may squeeze it once and assume that all the juice is out. But there's other people that find a variety of different ways to use the juice for different things. And you'll find that orange juice is so dope when you mix it with, or when you drink it by itself, or on ice, or if you refrigerate it, freeze it, popsicle. Like there's different ways to enjoy orange juice. So, I think that there's different ways to maximize any opportunities. There's a lot of different ways. So before I take on an opportunity, I say, well, how does this make the most sense for me and for my business? And how can I attach it to other businesses or other revenue streams? So I'm a compound thinker. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, no, I see that. Were you always this way?
I think it's a learned behavior, right? Like, what I am is a person that's extremely observant. I pay attention. And in the business that we're into today, there's a lot of success around you.
Yeah.
And people get very comfortable in watching other things grow. People get very comfortable in watching the world evolve. And in doing that, you just are content with wherever your place is. I'm a person that watches it evolve, and I constantly think about ways to grow with it, right? Like, why are things continuing to happen in a multi-layered way? Like, when you see hotel businesses expand from just not doing the hotel and providing a place for our customers to stay, but now we're getting into an experience business, and we also have packages of travel. So hotels are now a part of traveling experiences, meaning that you can't just stay with us. You can also rent a plane or a boat or a vacation style like everybody's finding ways to create an ecosystem where revenue attaches to so many different things. And then you build this portfolio. You get the right portfolio is attractive enough, and those attractions attract higher higher value opportunities. And that's how businesses get to the point of acquisition. That's how businesses get to the point of like IPO. So as a guy who's not supposed to be here, I just think of more ways to create things that people wouldn't expect me to do to justify my stance, my position, but create like stronger stances of security.
For sure.
Right? It's like, at the end of the day, if you shut the door on me, that's fine, I guess. But if you don't know how many other things I have the keys to, well, there's a lot of doors that are still open. How many doors can I create? How many locks can I hold the key to? And how many people can see success from it? That's how I think. How many people can I put in a better position today than they were yesterday? How do I use my value, my likeness, my relationships to create resourceful opportunities for not just my entities, but for others? They can all go together. So I'm very big on connecting the dots. I'm very big on understanding my infrastructure and trying my best to add as much as I can to it.
This might be maybe too broad of a question, but when will you know you did it? How will you know you did it?
I think that's a great question, right? But it's like, what is a person's definition of doing it? Like if it's about doing it, I'm doing it now. I'm very happy with my life. I'm very happy with what I've been able to achieve, and I'm extremely blessed to have done it at this level. But when you get to this level, the exciting thing about being here is you meet people that are at higher levels. And I'm not chasing anyone else's journey. I'm not chasing anyone else's success. I'm just trying to do as much as I possibly can while I'm on this earth. So when you say, like, how you know you've done it, I've already done it. I'm just trying to do more. And the conversation of, like, ownership, the conversation of wealth, that's like, that's an inklet of the bigger picture, right? It's an inklet of what I would deem to be like the opportunity for global success.
Yeah.
When I look at success, I look at like Amazon and I go, Amazon, the world uses this
Every second.
Every
millisecond.
And Amazon still goes, you know what else we need? Supermarkets. You know what else? You know what else would be great? If we had a business and our business service people in this manner. Oh, now that we got all the people coming here to shop, what if those people had an experience or a hub that they could also go to have an Amazon-like experience, whether that's attached to film, theater, whatever. Look at Netflix. They've already did it, but then Netflix goes, you know what else we're going to do? You know what else we're thinking about? You know how we're going to expand our business even more? It's not because you're greedy. It's because the ideas continue to grow for people that are excited about creating them. I'm an excited creative. I like the thought of the thought. I like a blank piece of paper, and I like putting words on it filled with possibilities, and then going, okay, we're going to do this, and then seeing that paper turn into a business or a building or a movie or a TV show. Something that brings in value and like economic growth, right? Like a lot of people want to be a part of this conversation of change, especially attached to the culture. But the conversation is just a conversation. What's the action behind it?
What are you doing?
Quietly, there's a lot of action. I got a lot of irons in the fire. And if they work, great. If they don't, great. I'm fine with knowing that I get up every day and I'm excited about some form of a goal or task that I service myself with. And failure is okay. It not working at the way that I think or thought it would, it's okay. It's the trying part that people like struggle with. I love trying. I love the attempt.
Taking that first step.
I love it. Like Heartbeat is a studio, right? How dope would it be if Heartbeat as a studio grew into not just the business of entertainment, but the business of studio went and became a business of commerce. The business of commerce went and became a business of home, travel. Like, how dope would it be if you just continue to build blocks in unexpected ways and people look up and go, holy shit, that brand is now aligned with the brands of. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But what if it did? What if I somehow gathered up enough information and enough resources to put myself in a position to might possibly become the thing that nobody thought I could or it would? That's dope.
Yeah, and that's a win in itself.
That's a win.
Yeah.
That's where I thrive. That's the world of success that I look for. Right? The idea of stardom is so minimal. Like, I've done that, been there. And way past that now.
Yeah.
It's the business, and the business is attached to the business. That's what I'm like, that's what I thrive off of.
Well, speaking of stardom, you were involved in acquiring a new star to Philly. Mm-hmm. You were involved in the pitch to Paul George.
Yes, I mean, I consider myself to be in the GM offices over there in Philadelphia. No, man, it was...
what was your video? What'd you do? And how does something like that even come to be?
No, it was just me just trying to get to PG in some way. And I actually couldn't. So it was just like sending texts or, once I heard what's going on. Just being a pain in the ass where and how I could. But also, making sure that it's just fan energy. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, I have no alliance to that office. Like, I'm not in the business of the Sixers. I'm just a diehard Sixers fan. So once I heard that it could possibly be, or we could possibly have, that's just me being a fan and that's having the relationships.
But what was the pitch? What'd you say?
Just texting PG a bunch of like Kevin Hart type shit. Like, man, it would be cool. This would be great. Our cheesesteaks are amazing.
You know what? Tell
City
me about...
of brotherly love. Stupid shit.
Tell me about a time you were maybe trying to get an athlete to come to Philly and it fell through.
Oh, God. Which one you want to know?
Tell me your favorite one.
I probably destroyed some of the deals for all I know. Just for all I know. Who did I think that we would get? Who were we in talks with? Harden happened, so that one didn't fall through. I was definitely aggressive with James during that process of like how cool it would be, why Philadelphia could be a better home than Houston. I was just lying. Oh man, dude, it's like our city. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what we got.
Houston ain't got this.
Let me tell you something. Public transportation in Philadelphia. If you ever need it. Okay, we gonna get you where you need to go. Just me being silly, man. I think the good thing is that I have relationships with a lot of these athletes, and the relationship is all built off of just good energy, a good rapport, man. And when you talk about the idea of new talent coming to a city and you being able to embrace that new talent and be one of the first to say how dope it would be if you were, and people know that you're genuinely a fan, I think it keeps the energy attached to the sport alive at a very high level, right? Like whether it's basketball, football, anything else, those athletes thrive off of being embraced, off of fanfare, love, right? That's what makes an athlete really, really connect and resonate to a city. And for any athlete, I would say the opportunity to talk to whoever the biggest fans are, stars or no stars, but people that they know really thrive through the success of the sport in the city, I think it's a dope feeling for anyone to have. So for PG early on, just to get any type of energy from me, knowing that I'm hearing the buzz of what could be, oh my God, you and Joel and Maxie, name a better trio. We are now putting ourselves in a conversation of the best in basketball. Our year, it's Philadelphia, so everything goes.
Every year is your year.
Every year. Yo, this is it. Finals. NBA. I'm buying my tickets right now, getting a suite. I know where we are. Season tickets, it's going down. It's all of that stuff. Every year, I cry. Every year, I cry.
Because when you were interviewing Jayson Tatum, you said you're going to have to go through the Sixers to get that championship. How'd that work out?
That son of a... Boy, he's a piece of work. That kid's got some balls on him to talk to me like that. Talk to me like that on national television. National television. He goes, I want to dedicate this to Kevin Hart. It was a really shit move. Really shit move what he did. But once again, that's the relationship. That's the banter.
Yeah.
But now I feel like, the conversation has changed a little bit.
Has it?
It's changed a little bit. And I got words for Jayson. I'm just going to let him enjoy this little championship thing for a while. And I know he's going through stuff because he cut his hair off and it didn't come out the way he thought it would. So he's dealing with some other stuff, right?
You prefer the long curls.
Well, I know he does. After cutting it off. He ain't been happy. He been rubbing his hair since he did it.
He said, where to go?
Yeah, that's a sign of discomfort right there. When people just keep touching their hair and looking around while they do it, that's a sign of insecurity. I know what it is. He thinks I don't know. I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to let him fight that battle first. And once he's done dealing with that battle and his hair grows back, then I'm going to get back to this Eastern Conference. And I'm going to get back to this next season that you best prepare for now. Because the Philadelphia 76ers are not the team of old.
So you think Jayson right now, he's fighting multiple wars?
Multiple wars.
Conflicted.
And he's over there in the Olympics, like they're training, and he's right next to Joel. So he's getting a crash course on that greatness in real time.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
For sure.
He's getting that every day.
See, I wasn't tapped into it in that way.
I'm tapped in.
Yeah.
He's getting that every day. So I already know Joel is playing those mind games, letting him know that this is more of what you're going to see. Look at how in shape I am. Look at how healthy I feel. I'm going to go out here and give him work in the Olympics, and then guess who's next? Guess who's next? Guess who's next?
Who?
Celtics. Joel's going to say, I'm getting this gold, and then I'm dealing with y'all next. See, I know.
You know what's going on.
I know what's going on, man.
Let's see if you know what's going on with this. I have a trivia question for you, okay? Michael Jordan couldn't do it.
Okay.
Tom Brady couldn't do it. Name an athletic accomplishment achieved only by Barry Bonds, Wayne Gretzky, and Kevin Hart.
Easy. Easy. This is easy. Okay, Wayne Gretzky, Barry Bonds, Kevin Hart. Are those guys, they're not four-time MVPs. I'm the only four-time MVP there, right?
No, they are.
They are.
Four-time consecutive MVPs.
Four-time consecutive MVPs.
So you were running the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game there for a minute.
This is a moment where my daughter has to say, did you hear that? Yeah. Honey, did you know that your father is a four-time MVP in the celebrity game, right? There will be a Hall of Fame at some point.
There will be a 30 for 30.
At some point. By the way, the 30 for 30 on my success during the celebrity game has to happen. All right? By the way, Heartbeat will produce and we will fund it. Okay? All right? So I don't need this to be a 30 for 30. We're going to call it a 25 for 25. All right? See, I did that?
In all those games, who was like your most formidable opponent? Which celeb really gave you a run for your money?
Taylor, I'm going to be honest with you.
All
okay?
right.
And I'm going to take a sip of my coffee before I say this. Because it's going to hit hard.
We are patiently waiting.
Here's the thing about me. I'm one of the few athletes that are a celebrity that's actually played the game at a high level. I played varsity basketball for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Right? So I'm already going in with a slight advantage, somewhat edge over my opponents.
You've been there.
And I've been there. Okay, I've been on the big floor. I played the big game. So when you talk about who acted as somebody that I felt that I had a rival with, nobody ever stepped up to the plate and gave me a challenge. And I think this is why they incorporated the actual NBA guys to play with the celebrities, because I was running all over the celebrities, right? So they had to bring in real talent, real people that played the game at a high level to contain me. I mean, my early numbers were crazy. I think coming out the gate, I had like 10, 8, and 6, which is insane.
You got 8 rebounds.
I mean, I want to say I probably had 10, 8. One game I had like 15 rebounds. You can look it up. That's what you do. Go look up the stats. But I'm saying, like, as a package deal from year to year, once you see you dominating the game at the highest level, I felt it was best that I step away, right? Let me step away from this game because it's not fun anymore. Right? I'm coming in, dominating it. All the conversations are about me, what I did. Kevin took over again. They're not talking about anybody else in the game. This ain't cool. I don't need no more trophies, right? I come home, it's parades.
It's full.
Yes. I remember after I got my second MVP, I went to Philadelphia because I had to see some family. I landed. I didn't know it would be a parade. And it was like a crazy success. Broad and Erie, we marched the streets, and it was a celebration of not just love, but success. Right? Not a lot of people can say that. Yeah. Shouts out to Barry Bonds and Wayne Gretzky. I'm going to take those guys to dinner.
It's an exclusive club.
Well, nobody else is going to be in it.
It's certainly an exclusive club. If you were taller, what could you have been
What the f- does
on
that
the
mean?
basketball
What does
court?
that
Well,
mean?
if you had just a little more,
What?
what could we have done here?
What just happened? What just happened? We were in a great place, and you just made a hard left.
I had to bring out the facts.
If I was
Because,
tall.
I mean, think about it. How would you have dominated with just a little more?
let me say some names to you.
All right, I'm
Okay.
listening.
Muggsy
Muggsy
Bogues.
Bogues.
Okay.
Isaiah Thomas.
Earl Boykins. Okay. No, Isaiah's not in the little guy club. Isaiah's 6 foot. Okay. I'm going Muggsy Bogues. I'm going Earl Boykins. I'm going Spud Webb. By the way, legends.
Very much so.
Legends of the game. Okay? I can go Nate Robinson. Legends of the game. This idea of the tall man dominating and only the tall man, it has to be put to rest. Okay? Short guys have come in and dominated this game for years. Okay? And the other Isaiah Thomas, not Zeke, but the other Isaiah.
That's who I was.
Okay, you're referring to that
Yes.
one. Another one. Okay, and I don't know why the world suddenly forgot about that man's greatness during his Celtics run during the playoffs, how he put that team on his back and destroyed the playoffs, got his tooth knocked out, still played in the game. I can go through every little man's piece of great history because that's what we do. Little dogs bite. Big dogs fight. You understand what I'm saying?
I got it.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay, it's all about the bite for
I'm
me.
with you.
I've never not been there, never not had it. So the concept of me needing to be taller to play that game is incorrect. And as a journalist, you should be ashamed of yourself.
I
You should
really
be
made
ashamed of
I made an
yourself.
assumption. I made an assumption.
By the way, let me just make this very clear to you and your viewers. I made a choice to do comedy and to start acting. I could have played sports at the highest level. I chose the business that I felt would best service my need at the time. I could have easily played that game at the highest level. That game came easy to me. I don't have to say it. You see my body.
I've seen the MVPs. I've seen the game.
What else do you need from me?
I do think, though, sticking right here, I'm interested in your thoughts on this. There's obviously this idea that a smaller guard can't win a championship. And obviously when we're saying smaller, we don't mean this small. We just mean smaller than the
saying?
other NBA players.
What the?
Do you believe like a Jalen Brunson type guard, a Jalen Brunson led NBA team could win a championship?
Okay. I'm going to take a beat.
Take a beat.
I'm going to take a beat here. Why do you think Jalen Brunson has been able to have the success that he's had?
Oh, I believe he can.
Okay, but do you know why?
Why?
Because the smaller guard is unguardable. Okay? The whole conversation is always about the defense. We're never talking about the offense. A smaller guard keeps a bigger guard on his heels. A smaller guard keeps the defense on their heels. You do what you want when you want. We are the problem. They have to find the answer. We're the problem. Now, if a smaller guard plays the game correctly and then learns how to elevate the teammates around them, meaning you guys are here to help the decisions that I make actually become what I feel they should be, which is always right. If I want to shoot the majority of the time to set up the world of passing to you guys, your job is to hit the shot when I choose to give it to you. By the way, Jalen had a bunch of role guys around him, and those role guys were made better because they let Jalen do his thing. Yes, Jalen will at some point get a championship after the Sixers are done doing what we do, led by another guard. By the way, Maxey, not considered to be the biggest guy, another smaller guard that can do what he wants to do on that floor when he wants to do it. I can go down the list of smaller guards. Steph Curry.
Well, Steph was the last one, last of the small guards that won a championship.
No, he wasn't. Steph. Yeah, it was Steph.
It was Steph.
Okay, yeah, but not a smaller guard. Steph is like Steph is what? 6 feet, 6'2"?
I would consider Steph technically a smaller guard. He's a smaller guard.
6'2", by the way, is huge.
Huge.
That's huge. Okay? So I don't know when we started shitting on 6'2". I don't know what type of cockiness you got attached to you where you're looking at 6'2", like, oh God, that's a little man. Okay, you need to get yourself together. Okay? Because that's a goddamn giant in my book.
Yeah.
6'2".
Looking up. 6'2"
is a center. You could easily be a center at 6'2". Give me the ball in the post. If I'm 6'2", I'm gonna have a problem with any team that I'm on.
So it's very clear to me as I sit here and listen to you talk. I've heard a lot of stories about you talking trash on the sideline.
Yeah.
That it's almost exclusively what you do when you are
it's
at
very
these
much what
NBA
I
games.
do. Yes.
And I've heard you talk about a story with James Harden, and an insult that you threw to James Harden was that people live in his beard.
Yeah.
Which I thought was hilarious.
I said that, and I said he has prosthetic calves.
Prosthetic calves, and people live in the beard.
Yeah, and I was yelling this out while he was on the foul line.
So I want to name some players, and we do some creative courtside insults.
Okay.
You tell me what you'd say.
Okay.
What would you say to Draymond Green?
Draymond Green, easy. His face is he has the face of a senior citizen and the body of a of a young man. Old face, young body. That's what Draymond is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Old face ass Draymond. Go ahead. Shut your old face ass up, Draymond. That's what I would say if I was on the sideline.
What would you say to Jokic?
Oh God, Jokic. Bad knees and hips. Yeah. I'm attacking that. I'm attacking his lower half. You gotta hit him where it hurts. Get your bad knee, old hip ass up out of here. And you just gotta say it fast.
Fast.
That's how you get under their skin. And then when they try to say something else, you just gotta get like, shut your old ass up with them bad ass hips. Get out of here. Medical hips.
What would you say to Kawhi Leonard?
Kawhi. Captain Smiles. Captain Smiles. Because he never smiles. Get your
But he does the laugh.
Yeah.
That's what you should do, honestly.
He laughs like he's in pain.
Oh my God.
What was that? Oh, Kawhi's having a good time.
He's having a great time right now.
Kawhi loves this movie.
A blast.
Hey, Kawhi, you got to get out. You got to leave, man. Yeah.
Find the joy in life.
Yeah. Kawhi.
All right.
Yeah. That's what I'll call him, Dr. Happy.
Two more.
Hidden darkness.
Two more. What do you say to KD?
KD. I would call KD the number 11.
Okay. Don't.
KD's got the shoulders of a child star tennis player. I love you, KD.
We love you, Kev.
KD would get mad and send me a text. Fuck you, Kev. I know. I'm sorry, man. She asked me a question. I had to hit you with something.
Last one.
No definition in his legs. Just a straight.
Just up and down.
Just a leg.
I am not going to be able to get through this.
He just has legs. Man, where your goddamn quad at? Just a leg.
Right, goes right
it's
up.
a leg from the top to the bottom, the same width, all the way up and down.
I do want to ask this about Kawhi, though. Is Kawhi the most unintentionally funny NBA player?
There's a lot of funny NBA guys, man. Kawhi's funny because he's very just like, he's one way. He's one way on the court. So the fans only get to see a version of him. But you talk to Kawhi's like, Kawhi's a very cool personality. But the people don't get to see it. So, but I would say, if you want to go funny, Draymond's actually pretty funny.
Draymond's very funny.
Draymond's funny. When Melo was playing, Melo was very funny.
He'll say whatever.
Yeah, Melo is very funny. I think, and personally, if I could go to who I think the funniest person that played the game and they masked funny through intensity, I would go Kevin Garnett or Paul Pierce.
Oh yeah.
Paul Pierce is probably the funniest because you're looking at a different energy, a different type of shit talking. Like, Kevin Garnett, they say, just used to lie and say people said stuff about him like to amp him stuff up. Like, KG, you good? No, he talking about my mama. No, he didn't say that. No, he didn't. So my mama, yeah, he did. Oh, whole ass. No, hold up. He never said.
But whatever you need.
Yeah,
whatever you got to get you
But that's
through.
what you got to do. If Paul Pierce, I wish the world could just Listen to Paul Pierce tell stories about his days on the Boston Celtics, man, and just like game situations. Like, I think Paul Pierce is probably, and to date, Paul is probably the funniest person attached to the game because just says what he wants, but
No filter.
no filter,
I love people like
no
that.
no filter. Like Paul, like I don't like he's a flight risk at this point.
So he is a liability.
He's a liability, but it's great. He's just great. He's so good. But playing the game, who I would say Draymond's probably the funniest man. Who else really makes me laugh? James makes me laugh. You know, all of my like this is how I realize I'm getting old because like my generation is like we're all like they're retiring. You know what I mean? So my class, D Wade, Mello, Bron, CP, uh, KD, Steph, like, I'm realizing that those guys are like approaching the last and final stages of those careers. And now this new generation is there that you got to embrace. So, I'm curious to know which personalities, are going to take the stage. Like I love Anthony being vocal. I love him stepping up and putting that personality and confidence on display for people to see. And he comes across very funny, very very funny.
I'm from Gwinnett County, Georgia.
Okay.
And he is so Atlanta.
Okay.
Like that is what his comedy is. It's just so Atlanta. But I love watching.
I think seeing those players now flourish and understanding that the moment is there for the taking, and it's just about which players are going to maximize the potential of the opportunity. Like I said, the older guys are getting old, so it's going to be out with the old, in with the new soon, and I'm curious to see which version of the new becomes the face, the personality, gains the moment of exposure. Like Ja Morant is another person that I think is a personable guy, funny, silly guy. And, that's what the game needs. The game needs to see the people that enjoy playing the game and play it at the highest level, but aren't afraid to smile and have a good time while playing it.
Definitely.
Right? You got to turn it on and turn it off.
Speaking of that new generation, you, of course, were a part of that Kai Cenat Druski stream, which broke all the Twitch records. Yes. It was so much fun to watch. And I'm very interested in how you feel comedy and entertainment has continued to evolve. What did it mean to, be funny when you first started? And what does it mean to be funny now?
First of all, I want to say, like, I love those guys, right? And Kai Cenat and Druski are, those are two names, but there's several. There's several names that are doing amazing things in that space. And by amazing things, I mean, this generation is so creative that they found ways to force a narrative and create a conversation attached to themselves, their likeness, and their talent. And after gaining the attention of the masses, some of them then went and touched the stage after and started to work on the craft and are now perfecting the craft of comedy while staying true to this live streaming world or this social media experience that they're able to provide through skits, parodies, etc. So you're looking at a new cutting edge way of entry. Whereas when I came up, it was about getting to the stage first, using the stage to build up an audience, to then hopefully put yourself in a position to get seen by the masses, right? But the masses, I feel like, are very late to the table. Like, with or without you, this generation is achieving success. And that success that they're finding, of course, is financial success, but it also comes with a large volume of engagement and fanfare, right? When you talk about a Kai Cenat, you're talking about a guy, we did a live stream and we had 750,000 people locked in for 8 or 9 hours. That's insane.
Wild. It's wild.
Right? That's insane. For 8 or 9 hours, these people stayed and watched. And not until the sleepover aspect started did it drop to like 500, 400. But you're looking at Super Bowl-like numbers. You're looking at analytics and data that transfer and equate to what you deem to be the biggest versions of success for television, for ads, for your biggest spots, commercial moments. These guys and girls are cracking the code. So I love to go and elevate. Like
Yeah.
I'm a person that's a lover of talent and a lover of opportunity. So me going and giving Kai Cenat the opportunity to embrace me, and at the same time me embrace him, is to make people go like, yo, these people are real. They got next.
Yeah.
Don't be late to the party and miss a train that's gonna go no matter what. You better figure out a way to figure it out. Like, figure out a way to make that business become your business. And that was kind of like my message to these studios, because I think there's a hesitation that some have about giving the opportunity of the first movie or first TV show, or investing the dollars and seeing if that'll equate to success over here.
But if anything, that was like proof of concept.
I'm saying this. I'm making it my personal business to not wait for them. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out the way to create with, or to do the things that are unconventional, that can highlight them in the best way possible, so that they're able to go and then springboard to do the other thing. And if my participation is merely just a moment of connectivity and putting a bridge out there that they can walk over and get there, then I've done a great service during my time. But
Definitely.
as a fan of comedy, as a fan of funny, and just a supporter of opportunity, I think that's what the business needs, and that's what the business is missing. There's this real like weird space that we're in, where there's an expectation that so many people have that things are supposed to happen for them in a certain way, and because of that thing, it creates this like ego and animosity as to what, and nobody, these people don't, and they don't want me to go, or these people don't want. You're in a business where people don't have to do shit for you. Like, nobody has to do anything for you. You're in a business where relationships are key, and support and friendship, and understanding that if we all can participate and somehow get on the same page of just like realizing that there's a big goal at hand for everyone. Well, how can we best service the task of support, whether it be verbal, mental, some type of love and energy, but to where people feel like, yo, man, there's hope for us all. Like, doors will open up, but they open up at a pace of, their own. You can't force shit to be what you want it to be. Like, sometimes it's about energy, man. It's just energy. The reason why I like those guys, their energy is so dope. And it's not just them. Like, it's when you think about Desi Banks, you think about Country Wayne,
Ben the Don.
Yes, there's so many. Even like Jess Hilarious, who now is on the Breakfast Club, but Jess Hilarious was doing and very adamant about her persona that she was giving to the world from social media, and whether it was the rants, whether it was skits, whatever, the Pretty V's, the B Simone. There's so many that I can name that said, I'm going to marry myself to the commitment of pushing as much of me as I can on this platform, in hopes that I'll build a fan base, I'll be able to build businesses from the fan base. Those businesses can support me while I still chase my dream. And then other things just start to fall in line. Like, Jess doing the Breakfast Club, that wasn't a thing at the start. That's not what she said, I'm gonna do at the beginning. It falls in line, and that supports up the next thing. That's how the business works. The business works because shit appears that you had no idea would present itself. It's like, oh shit, I can do this. Oh, I can write a book. Oh, I can be a host. Oh, after being a host, I can go back and I can go and be an actress. I can be an actor. Oh, I can tour. I can do this. I can own this. I can create this. I can launch this. That's entertainment. We're entrepreneurs. So, as a fan of entrepreneurship, when I see people doing it at a high level and I see them doing it right, I just try to take whatever information I have and present it.
Yeah. Because I like that, going off of what you're saying, it feels like the idea of having social media, being able to reach the masses so instantly, has taken out this probably gatekeeping element that has happened in comedy, which I'm sure as you were coming up, it felt like if you were going to be a comedian, you had to go and master stand-up, or the pinnacle of it was doing something like being on SNL. But now that sort of red tape and that vision that people have of comedians is different because they understand there are more ways to be funny and impactful.
Here's what I'll say, right? When you hear the term gatekeeping or gatekeepers, right? Mm-hmm. It's become here's what I think. It's become the easy escape. Mm-hmm. The easy escape for what you haven't done or what you're not doing or what you feel you should do is the world of blame. That's the easy escape. I would be doing it, but I can't because the gatekeepers. It's easy. It's very easy for me to say I can't or I'm not because of that. I would easily be doing it. That's why. Because gatekeepers. But it's a very undefined statement. Like, who are the gatekeepers? Who are you actually speaking of when you refer to the gatekeepers? It's like when you hear people say, yeah, I would, but they hating on me. Who is they?
Well, I think when people talk about gatekeeping in terms of comedy, it would mean if someone is coming up and they want to do something before social media, who would be giving you the chance to have the platform? There wasn't always the platform of social media.
Yes.
So the experience that they have to be able to be in front of the masses was likely different than the experience that you first had when you were in front of the masses.
But this is where the conversation gets tricky. And I love that you brought it up. Like, who says that my experience wasn't one filled with lack of opportunity?
It definitely was.
Right? So, like, the lack of opportunity that presented itself then still presents itself now. There is no difference and there is no change, right? And when you're talking about the quote unquote stars of comedy, okay, well, let's go down the list. Is there a high volume of comedic stars that we've seen? Like, if you go to Eddie Murphy, if you go to Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Chris Tucker, Martin Lawrence, if you throw the Kevin Hart, the Cat Williams, the Mike Epps, the Eddie Griffin, Tommy Davidson, like, you can go, but the list starts to get slim. Of course, your Richard Pryor, your Bill Cosby, you're going to come up with a name of maybe 25. And I just named men. There's women, of course, across the board. Your Whoopi Goldberg, your Wanda Sykes. I can go down a list, on and on, right? Mm-hmm. The different versions of success that we have all had match and mirror what the opportunities were that we either maximized, saw crazy success in, saw minimal success. But the business of the business has to make business sense. So if I'm the business, which I am now, so I'm able to look at it from a dual POV. If my business is about investing, if I don't get a return on my investment, well, my business falls. If my business falls and it fails, well, people don't give a shit. People move on to the next business that they feel they can get the opportunity from. So it's only the business's job, and the business is only to protect the entity that they've built or that they're creating. I can't do that without smart investments. Granted, everyone feels like they deserve an opportunity. Everyone feels like they have the thing that it takes to be a star, and you're supposed to. You're supposed to feel that way. But when it comes to me investing my money that is servicing this machine and the jobs in it, my investments have to come in a manner where I'm assuring a return. Without the lack of understanding, well, then it just appears that, well, nobody wants me to do anything. Nobody wants to support the thing. Nobody wants to support the new.
And you're like, no, you have to show them.
That's not the case. So it's not until that thing is proven. I mean, I'm now almost 30 years in the business. My first 15, well, I'm figuring it out. And it wasn't until I figured out a way to grow this fan base in stand-up comedy that I went to them and said, hey, you said that you guys need a possibility of return. Here's my ticket sales. Here's what I've worked hard and here's what I've grown for the last 15 years. These people pay money to come see me. I'm putting asses in seats. Why can this not transfer over to box office revenue? Well, you don't have an excuse. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to present you with the opportunities that I feel are low risk, high reward. So for studios, hey, spend $12 million on a movie. Think Like a Man was $12 million. This is the information that people don't know and don't have. There's this assumption that these fucking opportunities just come out the woodwork. It was $12 million from Screen Gems. And Think Like a Man, I think I probably got, I don't know, I may have gotten paid. Shouts out to Packer. I think I probably got like close to $1 million for that movie. This was one of my first big paydays for a movie. It's somewhere in that space. If I'm not exact, I apologize. But the movie of $12 million went on to do $90 million. The movie only came from Steve Harvey's book. Steve Harvey's book, which was just a book deal that Steve had, just so happened to become the biggest book. The stars lined up for these two things that were just business opportunities for the people at hand. Steve saying, I want to write a book, and this is my idea to write a book. Steve didn't know that he would come out and be a #1 selling author, and this book would go on to be one of the biggest things that he could attach himself to. He could go on and write other books. Steve didn't know that the producer would come up and say, I want to make this a movie, and then they went and got Screen Gems to agree, and Screen Gems said, we'll do it, but it has to be a very smart budget because we're not going to put out a crazy risk where we don't know what the reward would be. Well, guys, we want you to do it because look at the success of the book. Mm-hmm. People know the title. We think we can win here. I don't know, guys. Let me do the groundwork, and I'll come back to you. Will Packer did it, comes back with a plan. He's got a group of actors and actresses that can participate for a fee that's smart that the studio jumped up to. Okay, movie does $90 million. All of a sudden, Kevin Hart on the big screen makes sense now because they made money. So me and Will go, well, what do? We got to get another idea. We go find another idea. We go back to a different studio. Hey, Ride Along has been around for a long time. Kev, Ice Cube is a package. We think we can do the movie for smart money. It's $20-some million. None of these things were astronomical investments for the studio. Ride Along does $150 million. Now,
great movie.
Now the conversation of Kevin Hart and business in the entertainment is proven. So now the opportunities for stardom or leading man positioning, it's based off of fucking revenue attached to business decisions. Without an ROI, you have a conversation. What's the return on my investment? Wow, these things are multiplying, 5X and 6Xing. Okay, 10Xing. Wow, Packer, Kevin, you guys really cracked the code on this. How do you keep doing it? Okay, we're going to figure it out. Now, well, let's start paying the talent more. Let's make sure that we take care of the people that we're working with. Let's find a good group that we can build a rapport with. Shouts out to Tim Story. Shouts out to Packers. Shouts out to goddamn Malcolm Lee. Shouts out, I can go down a list of crazy directors and producers in the beginning stages that were all a part of this plan. Clint Culpepper in the beginning. Like Donna Langley, Universal. Like I can go to people that played a very valuable part. Peter Kramer, Ron Meyer. These are people that we sat in rooms with diligently asking for opportunities, but where they had to spell out what the business would be. So when you have the terms gatekeepers or people that are acting as preventative measures for opportunities, I challenge that because it's supposed to be. If you're just throwing out opportunities and you're throwing out money with no return, then how do the businesses succeed? It's like when everybody were complaining about Netflix and Netflix this or that, the opportunity to attach Netflix to this, or we need more things like this and more things like that. All right, who's paying for it? Are you coming to the table with the budget for the thing that you feel like they need to do? Or you're going to tell the machine the content they need to make their business work when their business is working? You're trying to correct the thing? Or are you coming to the table with opportunities of value? Hey, Netflix, I want to see more of a cultural presentation on your platform. So to do that, here's what I think we can do. I'm coming to the table and you got Shonda Rhimes, you got Ava, you got a bunch of people that are great, valuable, credible resources. And we're saying fund these things so that they can go and do what they want to do. All right, now that's a business. That's a return. You can't just come to the table willy-nilly with expectations with no plan. Imagine somebody coming to you and saying, hey, look, you're doing all this shit right now, but what you need to do is give Keisha and Tasha a show with you.
Well, I'd say, well, who are Keisha and Tasha?
Who are they?
Yeah.
Girl, they good. Well, what have they done? Nothing yet. That's what I'm saying. We need you to set them up. Yeah, but how do you think I do that? Girl, do it. Do it.
Yeah, it's like, no.
No, well, you're a gatekeeper. You're a gatekeeper.
Yeah. So I completely understand what you're saying, and I agree. I think that there is something to, if things are not working for you, it's easy to say that it's because somebody else didn't believe in you. But you're saying, well, it's because you didn't show them anything to believe in.
I'm not saying necessarily just that. I'm saying that there has to be a duality when it comes to understanding.
Yeah.
If you only look at things through your POV, then you only see what you choose to see.
Yeah.
If you never do the work to understand the POV of that side, well, then things are always going to seem unfair. And I'm saying my education and crash course has only become more clear when I got the position that I'm in now of being a chairman and CEO of a studio. I went and I had to go get money from investors to fund this operation. So this operation has to have not only the return that I promised it would, but I have to secure whatever my business decisions are with the return on the investment. Because if I go and I just off the money that was given to me by giving out all the opportunities of, and I can sell none of it, I can distribute none of it, I can't license any of it, I'm not getting any engagement, I'm not getting any advertising dollars that I can attach to it, do you know what happens at the end of the day? I was a bad chairman, I was a bad CEO, and the business fell. So what's deemed to be the thing of control at times is not mirrored or matched with the level of understanding. And in today's time, what I'm really seeing, what I'm really witnessing is an amplification in the presentation of cultural premium content across the board. We have so much diversity in leading roles between male and female. We have so many goddamn shows that act as a representation of our life, the things we want to see, the things we need to see. And across the board, it's growing. But it's growing because of great creative. It's growing because of great pictures, great writing, directing, packaging, things that people can't say no to. You're putting projects, people in positions to have success by having a plan of success. And when it just comes to idea, when it comes to talent, this is going to sound very crazy, but we all have that. Everybody's got ideas, everybody's got talent. But there's not a lot of people that execute it at the highest level. There's not a lot of people that know how to position it at the highest level. Everybody that's playing the game of basketball right now can play the game. There's a lot of people in the NBA. Why are there only few far and in between that become stars of the NBA? Why are there only few far and in between that see the game at a different level and in a different manner? If everybody could see it the same, then everybody should be doing the same. They can't. That's the difference. They can't. Which is why it makes sense for certain things to be what they are and where they are. And it takes time. There's not a lot of patience that comes with that understanding.
So then going off that, I'm curious, right?
By the way, that was very well said. Just want to say that.
A+. Round of applause for Kevin Hart in the room.
Very well said. It was very well broken down.
In the NBA and in any sport, right, we talk a lot about what the difference is between a star and a superstar. What is that difference in comedy?
Okay, when you say a superstar, let's break down what that should mean for a second, right?
Well, to you, what's a superstar in comedy?
A superstar is someone that appeals to all, right? Like, if you're talking about a superstar, or you're talking about the idea of a superstar, you're talking about being able to walk into any room, any environment, and be understood, right? You're talking about having a point of view that anybody can grab or grasp. Granted, everybody may not like the jokes, everybody might think that they're the same level of funny, but everybody can understand your point of view. That's how you get global bandwidth. So when you look at the comedians that are like high level comics, right? When you look at your Seinfeld, Chappelle's, your Rocks, your Wanda Sykes, this is just naming a few, right? When you look at this crazy, amazing talent, the one thing about this talent is that everybody understands them. Everybody gets them. Everybody gets them. You have mastered the craft of speaking about yourself, your life, your ways, and doing it in a manner to where everybody can see the picture. Not one person has to lean over and ask, what does that mean? What are you talking about when they say that? What's that? I don't get what? Where? I don't know what that is. That's the broad scale attached to comedy. The one thing that the world does is laugh. Laugh. The world laughs. The world laughs and the world dances. I'm going to simplify it. We laugh and we dance. So if I'm a musician and I'm trying to become the biggest musician, how do I make everybody dance and sing? And can I make everybody sing my words or dance to the thing that I'm talking about? If I can do that, I got a chance to be a global fucking success. Superstar. Beyonce, superstar. Taylor Swift, superstar. Justin Bieber, superstar. I can go down a list of people. When you go and you can position yourself around the globe to be heard, seen, and enjoyed, well, that's a big difference. So how many comedians travel the globe and in return get laughter from all? That's a different conversation.
It is, and it's not a huge group.
It's not a huge group at all. It's a very small group. A very small group. It's a very intimate group. And if you really want to get into the weeds of it, the group that's been doing it has been doing it for years. Has been doing it for years. By the way, the world is waiting for the new. They're waiting for the. They're waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Shouts out to whomever it will be. The opportunity is there, but I'm just showing you the difference between the conversation of star and superstar. Those lines got blurred over the years.
Yeah.
Right? Because social media presents everybody with a moment of success, a moment of popularity and fame. That's great. But that can't be deemed as stardom. It's two different things. And by the way, once you start talking about stardom correctly, well, now you're talking about the businesses and the brand attached to it. Because now, how many things are feeding off of the stardom?
Mm-hmm.
How many things are being generated off of the brand? How many conglomerate-like businesses have attached themselves to the stardom? It's not a coincidence. When you go and look at businesses that are massive,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, you want to talk Nike, Adidas, you want to talk Reebok, shouts out, Fabletics, we're in there. You want to go and start talking about these big businesses that are reaching the world? Well, why do they collaborate with people that reach the world? Because we're looking to fucking get all. We're not looking for the moment. We're looking for all. And then the businesses break it down into divisions. And now they can go and start to have it in tiers where it gets a little cool here, a little intimate here, variety here. But when we go after the big faces, and we want to put a big faces on all our billboards with our product, because we want the world to see that person and we want people to go, oh, that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Stardom.
So going off this, something that I think is really interesting here is that when we really think about the things that are funny, and as you talk about sort of this need for more cultural content, when I was watching your 60 Minutes piece, they showed this video of a young you dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I thought about was how so many Black kids have that video of them performing for their family. Their family's friends come over, you do the dance with your cousin, you perform the song that you have been thinking about, and it's almost, you're encouraged to perform, I think. In a lot of ways, that's a singular Black experience. What is it that you think is unique about the Black experience that encourages that out of young people?
I think it's all about the dream. The dream is on display at that young age.
Yeah.
Right? The idea of being seen, the idea of being supported, the idea of being laughed with, at, the idea of being good at something and being embraced.
Mm-hmm.
In the early stages, that's where the love starts to shape itself and really form. And, you know, I remember it was all about getting the laugh. You know, those videos of me dancing and playing and my mom, look at this fool, look at him, you know, that was fulfilling. That was an energy. And that energy is something that I thrived off of. And as I grew older, well, getting the laugh is what was consistent. Granted, I had no idea that I would become what I've become or do what I'm now doing.
You really didn't have an idea?
Not during the early stages because career wasn't even a thought, right? That stuff doesn't kick in where I've come from until the later stages of high school. And it's like, oh shit, this adulthood is right here. I gotta
figure it out.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Right? Because the conversations were different. And the environment that I grew up in was one of content. You do this and then you get a job and every day you come home, work, and this is it. This is where it is. Most kids were home with their parents. Some left, some didn't. But if they did leave, it was down the street to go live by themselves, and 9 to 5s were, or college was for a little bit or wasn't. There was a real consistent, like, piece of visibility with what life was or what it was going to become.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that have broken the cycle, right, that have come from, quote unquote, the hood or the tougher environments, well, you just act as an example of what can and what will. But think about the percentage of people that are doing what I do. You're talking about less than 0.5%.
Yeah, maybe less than that.
Right? So you're talking about hitting lightning in a bottle. And it goes back to what we were talking about before, the conversation of people that are the ones that deem who can become and who will. Unfortunately, that's the nature of that thing. If you're chasing that thing, if you're chasing stardom, if you're chasing fame and fortune, that's a crazy crack that you got to get through.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crazy crack that you got to get through. The opportunities of the entrepreneurs that are looking to do and create and become, it's great. That energy is unbelievable. But to become the thing up there, all right, well, it's some work. It's going to be fucking hard. But those that get through those cracks and aren't afraid to crawl and spend 12 years in that hole of dirt and dust with no light, with no food, the majority of people turn around. The majority of people turn around and go, fuck this, I ain't crawling no more. Yeah, I've been a struggling actor and actress for years. Fuck this. Tired of people not recognizing who I am. I'm done. That's the masses. There's a very small number of people that go,
they keep going.
I'm gonna keep going. Everybody else call you stupid. These are the things that people don't talk about. Like, I was called an idiot for chasing comedy. I was called a clown for making a choice to do this with my life. When I was doing the amateur nights and the beef bar and grills and the crab shacks.
In the bowling alleys.
I was the dumbest alive. It's not until you break the mold that you become the guy with the best, we always believed. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You didn't really believe. My mom and my brother. I remember. That friendship circle at the time. He going to go do that dumbass comedy shit. We going to laugh at him. We're not really going to support him in the amateur times. But then you pick up some steam, you start getting better. Now the conversation changes, a little more supportive because you're getting a little better at it. But in the beginning stages, you're a fool.
Mm-hmm.
So how many people truly understand the road work attached to the idea of the bad decision with your life that other people feel like they can have, that ultimately weighs on you, that ultimately sways you to do or not to do? Every kid at the playground is going to the NBA. Tell me I'm a liar.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm a liar that right now, every kid at the blacktop, if you go to the hood, is playing basketball, isn't playing basketball because they're going to the NBA.
They all believe it.
Every little kid in the little league is going to the NFL. And who the fuck are you to say that they're not? You're nobody to say that they're not. But how many of them get those dreams killed at age what?
Mm-hmm.
How many of them put down the ball or put down the idea of it because of influence or conversation or whatever? How many doctors start out and then don't finish because of the idea of more school, more school? How many lawyers stop because they failed the bar and I'm tired of failing the bar, I'm done with chasing this dream? How many dentists? I mean, you can go down the list.
Mm-hmm.
You can go down the list. It is consistent. It's consistent through a variety of different levels of person. So this term of prevention or people that do, it bothers me a little bit because it's not supposed to be easy for the thing that you're choosing to do.
The hard's a part of it.
It is all of it.
Yeah.
It's all of it. That's why you celebrate the ones that got there the level you do.
Because they persevered.
Oh my God. If you talk to Angela Bassett and you hear Angela Bassett's story, if you talk to Oprah Winfrey and live, I'm willing to bet you there's such a high volume of younger people that have no idea about Oprah's beginning days.
And it was rough for Oprah.
I bet people don't even know.
Traumatizing life. Yeah.
I bet people don't even know about Oprah's beginning days. Depression, anxiety, faced with this, racism. I felt this, ugly, didn't think people thought I was, told me I couldn't be. There was so much shit that Oprah dealt with before Oprah became the Big O. People just see the Big O and go, Oprah, you need to do this. You got the money, go do all this. What? What you just say? Yeah. You need to
get on my pocket.
You need to go do this. Oh, go spend his money on this network. Oprah's got a network that you don't know if that network is bleeding or not. Oprah's been the O network, the show. That's Oprah. That's all Oprah.
Yeah.
O magazine. You don't know what the numbers of these things are doing. No one does. But your assumption and expectations of her are based off of what? Mm-hmm. I can have this conversation all day, but it's because I have a dual POV, Taylor.
You've seen both sides.
I've seen both sides.
So you are clearly a very honest person. You know how to discuss your experiences very well. So much of your stand-up is you really discussing your life, your story, your shortcomings, your mistakes, all of these things. You can get on a stage, it's you, a mic, and you sold out a football field, 70,000 people watching you. And you can talk about yourself in such an admirable way. And I'm curious for you, what is the difference between being vulnerable and just telling a story? Because they're not the same thing, and you know how to tap into the vulnerability aspect of it. I mean, we even see you the way you're discussing these things now.
I think transparency is dope, right? Like, you can't fake authenticity. You either are or you aren't. And you also can't fake the idea of, like, comfort. Being comfortable with your pluses and your minuses is a talent. Like, that's a talent. To be comfortable with what you do well and what you do bad and being able to address it and talk about it, that's a talent, right? Like, a lot of the places that are provided for people to feel most comfort are all places in silo. It's all a secret. Therapy exists, but you do it in the privacy of, and nobody can see you and nobody can hear you, and this is what, because that's where you feel safe. Mm-hmm. Granted, great, agreed. I'm not uncomfortable in putting the good and bad out there, and by the way, finding ways to laugh at it. That's my therapy. That's the way that I cope and the way that I deal. So, insecurities of old or new problems, the things that I feel that I've been able to highlight. Some of those were some of my darkest moments. If you go watch Laugh at My Pain, or people have, Laugh at My Pain that's really about my mother's, like, death. Laugh at My Pain is when my mom died, and that tour, that thing, that's what kept me from, like, really sitting in a space of, like, damn, my mom ain't here. Like, I had shows. I got up on stage and I made it funny. I talked about it and it was received, understood, but the laughter provided the calm. But I'm really talking about, like, some real shit. It's just hidden between the lines. Even, what's this, last year? I think I was still doing Reality Check at that time when my dad passed away, and I ended up switching material to match and mirror my father. So you watch Reality Check, There's another callback of like a 10-minute piece of that set that's dedicated to my dad without the strong side of dedication. All right, but that's how I dealt with him passing away. I got to talk about it.
What was it like when you left stage?
Fine, because I got it out. So, like, I didn't have the dark moments. I don't, like, I'm not a depressed guy. I'm not walking around and, head down. I got my own shit just like anybody else does. I got my own problems, and it is what it is. Like, I'm very much a matter-of-fact person. It is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. Like, focusing on the things you can't change, do what? What do they do? They service no value. So losing a loved one is tough. But I've said it before, tomorrow still happens. It's kind of fucked up, but you still got to get up and get dressed. And the memories of that person can be memories of good, great, or bad. It's what you make the conscious choice to do. And I think it's harder, of course, for some, but I'm very matter of fact. So I choose to celebrate it, understand it, but then ultimately figure out how I can move on and continue to do the things that I would be doing because that's what they put me in position to do. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
Mom, dad put me in position to do the thing that I'm doing. So how do I continue to service them
What
and
they
make
wanted.
them proud by doing the thing that you wanted and that you thrived in seeing your child do? Turn that on. So transparency is key. And like, there's nothing that you can say about me that I'm not afraid to say myself. Like, that's the dope thing about the microphone. That's a dope thing about an audience. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'll beat you to it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really care. Like, it's not. It's not.
You went to Cranbrook. That's a private school.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I want your perspective on two more things, and I'll let you go just because I think you're just really able to contextualize experiences really well. You, of course, hosted the Tom Brady roast, which was a success. It was entertaining. It was very funny. He, of course, later came out and said that he regretted doing it. When you hear something like that, where do you go and what do you do?
When he says he regretted doing it, I don't think he's referring to the. I don't think he's referring to the.
The it. He means some of the jokes
Yes.
that he received.
I think what he's referring to is saying, I could have tapered it a little differently, saying or having a conversation of like, guys, let's go and do this, but let's not touch this or this. And I think like the idea of going all in and just saying, fuck it, I don't care, because I know the world would love to see me being on the receiving end of shit because I'm Tom Brady and I've been at the highest stage
Yeah,
in level of my life. So I think it was that. But it also like what it did for comedy, and like our climate of sensitivity, I think was necessary and valuable. Although I can side with Tom and see where he's coming from and just him wanting to protect, the idea of family and the conversation attached to that, that's probably where that's coming from. And, I'm not privy to whatever he dealt with after. So I know like his response and saying something about it was a result to possibly that. But that thing made people comfortable with like the concept of a joke being a joke.
And it just being that.
It's a joke, right? It's a joke. Hard-hitting, fun jokes. Everybody up there got hit. Everybody got hit. But those comics got an opportunity to show what makes them special. There was not a comic that touched that microphone that did not show that they were a sharp-witted talent. That's the whole idea of a roast. I get to take a moment, to take a pen and a pad and attach it to you and your life. And I'm going to be as witty and clever as I can, but at the same time, get some oohs and ahs. That's what the roast is about. And the roast was like a forgotten thing because of the climate. People are like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Can't say that.
Oh, hey. Hey, now hold on now. That way, ease up.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that, like, it was no holds barred. And the reason why I told him I would host it, I said, like, you need somebody, A, that's going to gain the attention of the masses, but that it can also set the tone and create the shock value and shock factor that everybody else is going to want people to be okay with. So if you really dissect the roast, I went out there and I made people comfortable with the uncomfortable. At the top of it, I hit time first. I hit the audience. I hit the stage. I hit the people. I did it in a way where it was still likable and fun. It didn't come off malicious. You, Tom. I'm playing.
Yeah. And you got hit.
I'm playing. Yes, but I set the stage for people to go, oh, and laugh. But you got comfortable with hearing it. In the beginning, I say, "F you, Tom," so many times.
20 times.
I say it so many times, but I said it to get the audience and the people at home in a place of, oh, all right, well, I'm, okay, all right. He done said it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So now your shoulders are no longer tense, and you're no longer like, ugh. You're watching it and you're laughing. And we ended up doing a live broadcast for 3 hours. Unheard of. I love the moment. I love Tom. I understand why Tom came back and said what he said, but I understand where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when he says that, he just knows that he could have policed it a little better if he wanted to, right? But also not being aware of where people were going to go and how they were going to come in. All right, it's a learning lesson.
Yeah.
So moving forward, if we're roasting somebody and there's like something crazy that they don't want, then it's just a conversation beforehand and people just go around it.
Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, I do hope to see more.
Yeah,
like more athlete roasts.
I think you to follow Tom, I would do it again, but I need somebody at that level, at that thing, and somebody that's okay with coming in and hearing the lay of the land. Like that's where the fun of it comes from.
Yeah.
I mean, Nikki told me, she said
she was amazing, by the way.
Kevin Hart, I know, she said, oh my God, Kevin gets up, he works so hard. Every day he gets up at like 4 a.m. to make another shitty movie. I don't like him. I don't like them. None of them. She's like,
she was like a star in that.
Great.
She was amazing.
She was great, but it's fun. It's like, if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? It's no fun laughing at other people if you can't laugh at yourself.
For sure.
I laugh at myself first. So shouts out to Tom Brady for taking the stage, for doing it, and making history, The numbers were insane. The numbers that we put up on Netflix for that broadcast. So I'm glad I did it. I love him, love everybody that did it. And I think the world needs more of it. Get back to understanding the idea and concept of a joke. And let's stop letting the joke stand as the thing to live by or operate off of, right? Mm-hmm. Playing, or the concept of playing, should be just that. Yeah. Playing.
And lastly, you've, of course, talked about your brotherhood with LeBron James. Mm-hmm. He's having a beautiful father-son moment with him and Bronny. He's been very vocal about the fact that Bronny is not someone who cares about critics, who is not listening to people, call him a Nepo baby and things like that. Why do you think people are so insistent with throwing LeBron in his face? And what would your message be to people that do that?
I think my message first would be a message to Bronny, who I'm close with as well. You're no stranger to like public warfare, right? You've grown up in it. Your father has been in the headline since he was 18. And everybody loves the story of the good guy. But everybody really wants the story of the bad guy. Like, for some reason, we love, but people love the concept of hate more. There's a lot of good things that are being said about Bronny right now as well, but you can't hear it over the volume that people are adding to the bad things. If you have a smart concept and approach to dealing with any of that, then it means nothing. It's just words. It's hearsay. By the way, that's their job. Their job is to create conversation and bandwidth that can allow them moments for more conversation. As a journalist, if you have nothing to talk about, well, this shit gets old fast. The conversations build more conversations. That's the job. It's no ill will, it's no malice. I'm never going to look at it like that. So if I'm Bronny, step one, grab that mindset. Step two, I'm actually playing the game that I love. I love basketball. Not only do I love basketball, I love my father. Not only do I love my father, but I know how much my father loves me. And the fact that my father has embraced me and my brother and my sister and has embedded us into this world of training, constant improvement, and it's paid off because I've now played on the biggest stage with the biggest campus, and I'm now here, but I got work to do. My dad thrives off of work. Hey, I'm about to work. And by the way, we're happy. We're happy. Mm-hmm. That's the important part. So when the conversation of nepotism and this and that and this and that, it's ignorance attached to that conversation. My daughter's here now. My daughter is in love with the idea of creativity and producing and development. It's my job as her father to not only give her the right information, but put her in the best positions to succeed. But it's your job as my child to do the work. So when you mirror and match my energy, well, I'm gonna match yours. Why would Bron not want his child
to succeed?
To succeed.
Yeah.
So when you
that's
hear
the job
things,
of a parent.
Have we skipped to this high level of ignorance that we forget that's his child? Why do single moms work 20 jobs? Why? Because they're trying to get whatever they can so that their child has the tools so that they can succeed. Mm-hmm. I break things down to common sense. Common sense is key, but it's sad because it's the most forgotten trait of our time.
Yeah.
Common sense does not exist. If you're telling me that I got a chance to create history by being the only player to be on the court with their child, and my child actually has the talent, and I believe that with the hard work and surrounding him with the faculties and teams and training that he needs, that he will desperately improve and become a player that people will not only turn key on, but celebrate soon. Oh boy, we can do it again. We can create more history within history. By the way, that's what we thrive off of. Mm-hmm. Take my crown off, and I can't wait to give it to you, son. And by the way, we got another one coming. Come here, Bryce. That is beauty.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful story.
That is the exact term of Black excellence. I can go to several players who have kids in the position of playing. How do you think those kids got there? Mm-hmm. There's videos of Rick Brunson and Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. Him working him out in the garage.
He's working him out in the garage. You got Jalen Brunson on the blacktop. Again, go. You tired? Well, don't get tired. You ain't got time to be tired. Again, shoot. Go to the free throw line. His dad is taking all of the knowledge from the game that he's played for years and he's embedding it into this thing, this product that can actually be better. Holy shit. And then I get to see my son play the game. I get to see my son have success in a league that I didn't have. What are you talking about? That is the exact definition of Black excellence. By the way, in a time where the conversation of Black fathers is frowned upon and here and there, you're telling me now when you're seeing fatherhood, love, energy, support at the highest level, we find a way to manipulate it and change it into something else. I find the good in it and I find the value of it. Yeah. And I can only hope that other people are smart enough to see it as well. It makes me love my kids more.
Definitely.
It makes me want to see my kids do more. It makes me think about how I can better position them to do more. Mm-hmm. Iron sharpens iron. So figure out a way to look at that and then look at your goddamn iron sword and sharpen it up so you can go cut through the weeds to do the same thing.
I love it. And shout out Black Dad. Shout out my dad. Because I know you're watching this. Yeah. This was fun.
This was great.
I really appreciate your time, your perspective. I feel like I'm looking at things differently, but I really enjoyed this.
I am happy for you.
Thank you.
I am here because of the same reason why I told you with Kai Druski and these people that are doing unconventional things and finding ways to navigate in this business. Support and relationships are everything. So as you continue to grow, you're going to find more people are stepping up. And I'm like, yes, I'll do it with you. That's their way of saying, yo, we're proud of you. We're watching you. And as you continue to succeed, more people are going to align and the handshakes are going to be different. And the goddamn congratulations are going to get different. So this is just a way for me to say, like, keep going. It's dope. It's dope to see you continue to grow in a business and really navigate these waters in a special, unique way.
Thank
There's
you.
not many. There's not many that are doing what you're doing. And it's a special thing where you can highlight the one or the couple that are. So the conversation gets bigger. The opportunities for others get bigger. But it's based off of what you're doing. So don't stop. Keep going.
I appreciate that. And you're right. It's really about you keep going.
That's it.
You have to keep going.
That's
Even
it.
when it's, especially when it's hard.
That's it.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin.
I'll see you on the next one when you want to talk again for like an hour and some change.
Yes, let's do it.
This is all
I
some good
deeply
shit.
appreciate this. No, and I'm going to see you on our commercial.
Yes. You're going to see the
I'm going to see you
commercial.
on that DraftKings commercial, okay?
I'm not
on
used
a
to it.
rewind.
I ain't used to it, Kev. You
I used to it.
I
I be
used
ready,
to
my
it.
phone's out. I'm like, was that me? No, thank you, Kev.
Thank you. I appreciate you.